Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your June 2021 love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. And we'll be taking a look at the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once you get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so full out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Seven of Staves, which is the equivalent to the Seven of Wands, which is Leo energy, and the Princess of Staves, which is the equivalent of the Page of Wands in traditional tarot. So, could just be saying that for a lot of you, you might have had your guard up with this person. You know, you might have felt that they were coming across a bit too aggressively toward you, which, you know, sounds weird for Aries, right? Like, usually you wouldn't shy away from something like that, but something about this person's approach, you might have felt like, you know, they were just coming on a bit too strong. For some of you, it could have just been maybe because you hadn't fully healed from something in your past. That's certainly a possibility. That might explain why you would have been taken aback like that. But I do have to say, with this energy, well, especially it stands out the way the horse is moving away from the cards on this side, but also it's always interesting to me that this person's like, looks like she's looking back. Could you get it to focus? There we go. Looks like she's kind of looking back over her shoulder, though, you know? So on the one hand, you might have been intrigued by them, obviously, but I feel like you just might have felt like they were coming on a bit too strong, so you might have had to pull back in the past. All right. Past energy on their side, we have the Devil. So this is actually a Capricorn energy here, but at the very least, you know, I could see why with this energy where you might have felt like, you know, they really were just bringing a lot of a sexual energy toward the connection that might have just, you know, maybe you just weren't necessarily sure you could trust it, right? So that could have been what it was, where you're like, okay, is that all this person's about or what? So they might not have really, you know, made it too clear what their intentions were. That's what I'm seeing there in the past. Or I do have to say, you know, even given that their back is turned to you as well, it could be one of those things where maybe it wasn't necessarily that they even tried that with you, but maybe you just kind of observed that that's how they've been, generally speaking, and that might have been something that made you a little bit hesitant, you know, but that's what I'm seeing there. Present energy on your side, we have the Ace of Cups. So, you know, similar to what I was seeing with the Page of Wands energy, where she was kind of looking over her shoulder, to me, this seems like at the very least now you might seem like you're a little bit more open to the connection. So yeah, like I said, for some of you, really just could have been that you might have had a lot going on in the past, and you know you couldn't really give the energy to them when they were coming across a bit intense to you. For some of you, might even been someone that you're working with, given that that's Capricorn energy. So that might have been part of why you were a bit reluctant to go down that road too, right? Because it could have just complicated things. But at the very least, it looks like now in the present, you might be a little bit more open toward them. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Three of Chalices, which is Cancer energy, and the Six of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy. So, pretty big shift in the energy there. Now, you know, that could be part of why you're more open now, you know, as far as, could just be saying that now they're coming with a bit more of a soft approach toward the connection, right? And showing you that they, you know, do actually see the potential for it to be a bit more of a romantically involved connection. And with the Six of Pentacles there, it shows their desire to add some stability to the connection, right? Bring things back into balance. So, you know, it could just be one of those things, or maybe they did realize that, you know, I don't even think that it was necessarily intentional, but they might have come across that way. And I feel like this is them coming to that realization and coming back with a different approach this time around. Trying to see if anything else comes to mind with this. That's pretty much it. All right, and the future energy on your side, we have the Two of Cups, which is Cancer energy, and the Six of Arrows, which is Aquarius energy. So this is the Two of Cups in this deck in particular always stands out to me because we see, if you just look at the artwork, again, see if we can get it to focus. All right, there we go. There's a lightning bolt in the background, and if you just look, it looks like clearly there was a storm going on, right? So if we think of the traditional Two of Cups, it's a much more bright, sunny type of energy, right? We even see here one of the cups are knocked over. So it could just be saying, again, going back to the past where you guys might have had that bumpy start, right? Then we see the ace and now the progression to the Two of Cups, which is to say, it might have taken you guys a while to get on the same page, but it looks like you actually will be there in the future. Given that this card represents the first 10 degrees of Cancer as well, this could even just be saying timeline-wise, this might be toward the very end of June. Maybe it's just as simple as letting the Mercury retrograde energy and the eclipse energies clear out for you guys to actually see the situation more clearly. I will say Mars will be in your fifth house around that time too, so that could definitely add a lot more energy and passion into your romantic lives. And with the Six of Arrows, I feel like that's saying, kind of putting any misunderstandings behind you. Especially, given she still is kind of moving toward their direction there. So I feel like that's saying that, whatever it was that you guys had, looks like primarily just misunderstandings. Like I said, it looks like you'll be putting that behind you and actually putting effort toward the connection. And future energy on their side, we have the Two of Wands. So this is Aries energy here. And again, we do see that passionate approach to the connection, right? She's like, stretching her foot across the table toward him. So, there definitely will still be a passionate approach behind them. But I feel like now, that they've established a bit more clearly what their intentions were, it looks like things are just going to flow a lot more smoothly between the two of you. All right. And bottom of the deck on your side, we have the King of Coins. So this is actually a Taurus energy here. And for you guys, that's your second house of finances, possessions, self-worth. So it could just be saying that, this could have been the approach you guys were taking, where maybe you wanted something a bit more serious. And again, like I said, maybe this person just came across a bit differently where you weren't necessarily sure if that was the road that they were going on. And again, I do have to say this can be an indicator, again, that maybe this is someone you guys might work with. And interestingly enough, beneath that, we also have the Strength card, which is Leo energy. And I was just saying how, you guys are going to have Mars move into the sign of Leo around the middle of the month. So could definitely increase the passion. And bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Ace of Chalices. So, again, I feel like this is saying that underneath it all, they definitely did have that loving energy, but for whatever reason, their approach might have just seemed a bit off in the past and could have caused some confusion between the two of you. Like I said, it could just be as simple as the Mercury retrograde energy, especially for you guys, because it's going to be in your third house of communication. So if anyone's going to be prone to having miscommunications around that, it'd be you guys, obviously Gemini too, but for it to be in your house of communication, there could definitely be some confusion. So just keep that in mind. All right, moving on to the Oracle cards. First, we'll see if we get anything from Akamunite deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we start recording, and what I'm going to be looking for here is some jumpers as far as unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. But if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just move on to the next Oracle deck. Sometimes we get additional messages here, though. Got one, but it fell. All right, so now we'll see if we get any from them to you, and then I'll pick up your card. All right, got one for them too. So let me go grab yours and we'll take a look at them both. All right, so on your side we have time, says, I know the clock is ticking for us. Won't you wait for me? So, interesting message there. Now, I do have to say, for some of you, I could certainly see where that would fit as far as your past energy, where, like I said, it looks like you were definitely putting your walls up with them in the past and possibly just moving away from the connection overall. So that could definitely be, for some of you, it might be you guys who are actually going to be more of the ones initiating the situation with the Ace of Cups in the present. If you were the ones who left the connection in the past. And on their side, we have no strings. It says, I want you close to me, but I'm not ready for a commitment. So interesting message there, because that definitely seems to be the vibe that you were probably getting from them in the past, right? With that devil energy. Here, it did look like they were probably coming a bit more out of that. So I do have to say, quite frankly, both of your cards seem to resonate more with the past positions in the spread. But at the very least, you might want to keep that in mind, and keep an eye on them and see, is that something that they do have in mind, if that's what you're looking for as far as commitment goes. And if not, then, it looks like you guys could just have fun in that regard as well. But hopefully that resonated with you. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. And I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and we'll wrap up. All right, nothing came up, so I'm going to put the deck down and we'll just pull a card. So give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll pull a card. All right. We have Deep Knowing. There's the artwork, and the number is 43. All right, so seeing that made me think of intuitive thinking, and you guys did just have Jupiter move into your 12th house. It's barely in there, but maybe you guys might be getting more hits as far as your intuition goes. But it says intuition, listening to the oracle within, empathy, hypersensitivity. The oracle's message. Intuition is the faculty that allows you to enter into a dialogue with Source, the consciousness that you are a part of but cannot see with the naked eye. It's perplexing that people are taught to ignore this natural capacity to navigate their journeys, to access their inner guidance. Know that you have an ability to read between the lines and find all the truth that was missing when the story was told. This deep knowing allows you to open the door to wisdom far greater than what is available in the limitations of human experience. You're given information that may make no sense whatsoever to the logical mind or five senses, but which is 100% correct and true. The trick is to listen and then to act accordingly. You're now invited into the sacred dialogue of deep knowing. So tune in and trust your vibes. They will be right. Ask and you will receive answers from unusual sources. So interesting message there where it said, tune in and trust your vibes. They will be right, because that reminds you of what I was saying as far as, for some of you, that no strings could have just been more their energy in the past with the devil energy, and they might be moving out of that. But like I said, for some of you, that might still be where they're at, so you might have to feel that out. So hopefully that resonated with you. The relationship message says there are occasions when you just know, deep in your heart and soul, that a person is going to play a meaningful role in your life. Someone crosses your path, and suddenly, out of the blue, you're connected at a level impossible to describe. That feeling marks a moment in time etched indelibly onto your soul. Someone has entered your life who will be instrumental in your journey, so pay attention. Two hearts are calling to each other to begin an alchemical process. This is also a sign that your intuition about the person you care about is correct. Trust your heart to lead you now. Magic is about to happen. So, pretty positive message there. Hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.